So good evening, everyone. My name is Rotractor Akanksha Avasti, and I'm going to be moderating the event today. So we're going to start off with the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do as per the Rotary protocol. The first question, is it the truth? The second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And the fourth and last question, will it be beneficial to all concerned? So I now request Rotractor Vaishnavi K to come and sing the invocation song.
Thank you, Akanksha. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Vaishnavi K, Youth Service Director of MES Rotaract Club. Now I'm going to sing Invocation song. गंभीर गजवदन गणनाथ सुख सदन गंभीर गजवदन गणनाथ सुख सदन गौरी तनु भवन गैवे पुण्य स्मरण गंभीर नित्य सत्य सतेज प्रथमाश्रम विराज नित्य सत्य सतेज प्रथमाश्रम विराज नुतपाद गुण सहज क्षिति गोडेय गणराज नुतपाद गुण सहज क्षिति गोडेय गणराज गंभीरा गंभीर गजवदन गणनाथ सुख सदन गौरी तनु भवन गैवे पुण्य स्मरण गंभीरा करपिडिदु ನಡೆಸನ್ನ ಹರತನು ಜವರ ಗಣಪ ಹರತನು ಜವರ ಗಣಪ ಉರಗಾಚಲನ ಶಿರದಿ ಕರವಿರಿಸಿ ಪೋರೆ ದೇವ ಉರಗಾಚಲನ ಶಿರದಿ ಕರವಿರಿಸಿ ಪೋರೆ ದೇವ ಗಂಭೀರ ಗಂಭೀರ ಗಜವದನ ಗಣನಾಥ ಸುಖ ಸದನ ಗೌರಿ ತನು ಭವನ ಗೌರಿ ತನು ಭವನ ಗೌರಿ ತನು ಭವನ ಗೈವೆ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಸ್ಮರಣ ಗಂಭೀರ. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaishnavi, for that amazing song. Now, I would officially like to welcome Dr. Shobha, ma'am, who is the speaker for today, and also the faculty coordinator of our club, Rotarian Veena Nagaraj, ma'am. And I would also like to welcome all the participants who have attended this meeting today. So now I would like to introduce our speaker, Dr. Shobha, ma'am. Rotarian Dr. Shobha Ji, MSc and PhD, is an educator, counselor, nutritionist, wellness and life skills coach. She's currently working as the Associate Professor, Department of Human Development in Srimati VHD College of Home Science, Bangalore. Dr. Shobha Ji is a gold medalist in MSc from Bangalore University. She has done her doctoral research in human development on the topic traditional and progressive approaches in school education. She has 27 years of teaching experience, both at undergraduate and postgraduate levels, and has guided several postgraduate projects on various research topics. Dr. Shobha is a proud recipient of prestigious awards like Sushila Lingayya Gold Medal, Jawaharlal Nehru Memorial Award, Vikas Prerak Samman, Shiksha Ratan Puraskar from IIFS, New Delhi, Parimala Puraskar, Rotary Women Achiever Award of 2016, etc., for her community services rendered. A regular columnist in the newspapers Vijay Karnataka and Prajavani have given several programs on television, like on television channels like Doordarshan Chandana, Udaya TV, Janashri, Sankara, TV9, and other channels on parenting, education, healthy eating, health and fitness, adolescent issues, study habits, counseling, etc. She has anchored several government, non-government programs and conferences. She is a member of various professional bodies and an advisor for several organizations. With the strong belief in preventive approach rather than curative approach, Dr. Shobha is involved in promoting health and education and mental health, giving more than 400 invited lectures and programs. She has conducted several workshops at our various organizations and forums for the faculty of various schools and colleges, for students, for state and central government organizations like BSNL, KPCL, KSRTC, etc., corporate and public sectors like BEL, BHEL, Robert Bosch, Exodian, and others. For parents, senior citizens, garment factory workers, for a number of non-government organizations and service organizations, and for the general public on various topics like creative teaching, study skills, life skills, work-life balance, personality development, parenting, counseling, etc. Bosch India has recognized her services and invited her as a life skills and wellness coach. She is an external member of POSH community of several organizations like Exidion, Gallagher, PowerGrid. She's an advisory member to various preschools and NGOs. She trains and spread awareness on relevant issues to people across all age groups, from preschoolers to aged, and has reached out to several thousand people till date. Presently, during the COVID 19 lockdown times, Dr. Shobha is involved online, conducting several awareness programs on immunity building foods for children, adult, and the aged, educating parents about the psychological implications of COVID on the children and aged, conducting online training programs, and many more. We are thankful to have you here today, ma'am.
My
Now I
pleasure.
hand it over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good evening hello, ma'am Veena. Good evening to you. And I really thank the MES Rotaract Club for inviting me for your Women of Vision series. And I'm really thankful and happy to see Madam Veena, Dr. Veena, and the wonderful work you all are doing, ma'am. It's really nice that today I am a part of this forum and I'm able to address the students. I see about 29 participants, the Rotaractors of MES College and MES Rotaract Club. And you have chosen a very, very important topic, nutrition and health of college students. So that's a topic that's given to me. That was Dr. Veena's choice. She said, no, our youngsters should know what to eat, how to eat, what is right for them. Of course, you're all in your college having taken up different combinations. Many will be aspiring to be doctors, professionals, and different fields. But small little things in our life, something as important and as simple as our own food, many a times we will not know if we are eating correctly. In fact, we are what we eat. But unfortunately, we give so much of importance to everything around us, but we forget or not take food or our health and nutrition in the right stride. So especially as a teacher in a college, as a mother of children, it's my passion that the health and nutrition of youngsters, especially retractors, people who are in the service field, it's very, very important that you know, other than your subject matter, also about your own health, what comes into your plate, what goes into your mouth, and what keeps you sustaining. So with that, we begin this very, very important topic about food. Roughly 29 of you, and you're going to, for the next 40 minutes or 45 minutes, whatever the time allotted to me, you're going to be interactive with me. Do you want a monologue or a dialogue? You should quickly, you're all youngsters, that too in road track. You should have your fastest finger first on the chat box. So quickly, let me see. Do you want a monologue or a dialogue? Dialogue is both of us interact. Monologue is only I speak. Let me see in your chat box. Dialogue, dialogue. Yes, yes. Quickly. Good, 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 good. So you all want a right. Then I'm going to ask you a lot of questions and you're going to be with me answering. Let us see how much we know about food. Any doubt you have that food is not that important when it comes to deciding what our health is? If you have any doubts, then we shall clarify that. But if you have no doubts, and if you feel that food is the most important aspect of good health, then we begin So what more for youngsters than a quiz? So let's have a quick quiz about something very simple as our food. How much we know are we eating right? Okay. So your fingers on the chat box, please. I'm going to share the screen and you can just answer with the multiple choice. Put the question number and the answer. You don't have to type the whole thing. Okay. So we begin now. Let me see. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah.
F5 slideshow.
Okay. So this is the topic as we discussed is what we are going to do. And how important nutrition and health is for college students. Extremely important. So simple questions. Let's see how much we know about our food. Vitamins are a good source of energy. You just have to put your question number and say true or false. Let's see. I go to the chat and see. Let's see your answers. I'm getting a lot of truths there. Okay. Quickly, let's see how fast you can be. Okay, let's see. We have been having our food and then a lot of good food, and we have heard about vitamins very, very commonly. We keep hearing about it, but are vitamins a good source of energy? All those of you who have given or you have said true, mark yourself a wrong. Vitamins do not give us energy. There are 3 energy giving nutrients, and the 3 energy giving nutrients are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. These are the only energy giving nutrients. Carbohydrates, 1 gram gives 4 kilocalories. Protein, 1 gram gives us 4 kilocalories, whereas fats, 1 gram of fats gives us 9 kilocalories. The other nutrients, being minerals and vitamins, do not give energy or calories, but instead they are extremely important for protective functions like immunity building, to keep you disease free, to keep us healthy, to act as catalyst in many chemical functions happening in the body. For all those things, we need vitamins and minerals, but vitamins and minerals are not energy givers. So those of you who want quick energy, you should be eating carbohydrates, in fact. Okay, so we move on. Eating a variety of food is important because ABC. Let's see your answer. Eating a variety of foods. ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ವೈವಿಧ್ಯಪೂರ್ಣವಾದ ಆಹಾರವನ್ನ ನಾವು ಯಾಕೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ you have your answers. A, B, C. Let's see the chat box. B, okay. B, some of you have given me B. Let me see. We have A also coming. All right, all right. Screen is shared, Srinidhi?
Not now, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Good. I have some of those answers. Yes, all those who said B, give yourself a score of 1. Yes, we need to be eating variety of foods, not because your parents insist. Tarkari tino, hal kodi, not because parents insist, not because that if I eat everything, I get something out of somewhere. It's not that. But when there is variety, you get the best of vitamins and minerals. Why? Because different types of nutrients. There are about 24 different minerals that are required by the body. And there are different vitamins A, B, C, B complex, DNE, K vitamin, etc., which are present in different foods. So when you eat variety diet, you get a combination of all the vitamins and minerals. And this kind of variety, I'm going to talk a little bit in detail about that, is called as balanced diet. Just a minute, I'll just plug in my system. Still battery won't be anymore. Yeah.
We are having a small technical difficulty. Ma'am will be back soon. Meanwhile, I take this opportunity to welcome Sarasija ma'am, YSD of Rotary Bangalore Northwest.
I would like to take this opportunity to talk about a little bit about the Women of Vision series. So this was a series we started in August, where every Saturday, every Friday, we get inspiring women to come and talk to us about various topics. And today is the last and final session of that Women of Vision series. We've had a lot of inspiring women come here and inspire each and every one of us about various things and how we can achieve them, and they have given us knowledge about a lot of topics. And we just so yeah, I would like to welcome ma'am again, and I'll hand it over to you now, ma'am.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Ran out of power. Okay. So we were at this question, right? Yeah. Question number 2. So is the screen shared now?
Not yet, ma'am.
Okay. So eating a variety of foods. Let me take your own Rotaract Club. You have somebody who's good in, just now Vaishnavi sang in a beautiful voice. What a melodious voice that was. You have Vaishnavi to sing. You have somebody to do the comparing, somebody else to create the flyer, lead the club. Each of you are so diversified with your different talents. Putting it all together, you have a wonderful Rotaract Club of MES, which means to say variety is the key for everything, because each and every nutrient has got some other different function to perform. So when you club in all the different types of food, when you bring in variety, you get the best of amino acids, the proteins, vitamins, minerals. So going by monoculture, pizza all the time, burger all the time. It is just 2 minutes every time. you're just consuming one or two predominant sources of nutrients, or it is just the maida and the refined flour. What about the variety of foods? In fact, talking about Indian cuisines or South Indian or Indian, the whole thing, when you take, it is so diversified. ನಮ್ಮ ಆಹಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ವೈವಿಧ್ಯತೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, it is enough for us to live in a very, very healthy condition, vegetarian or non-vegetarian. But unfortunately, today we are talking about lifestyle disorders, especially the youngsters. Just about 6 months back, there was a big heading in the newspaper, of the leading newspapers, which said that diabetes is entering classrooms, not college, just classrooms. Children as young as 9, 10 years are suffering today with diabetes. And depression, mental illnesses are also quite common among youngsters today. Very importantly, we need to take care of the kind of food we feed to our body and what we feed to our mind. So very importantly, eat a lot of different types of foods. I'm going to talk about that. I move forward. This vitamin is important for the absorption of iron. Let's see which one you say. Okay. Yes. Which is important? What answers do I get here? Which vitamin C? Okay. Okay. Diksha says E, Akanksha says C. Quickly, let's see. Okay, I go back. Yes. My dear Rotractors, youngsters, especially young girls here, about 55 to 60% of women are anemic in India, urban and rural, from affluent families and also from lower socioeconomic strata. About 55% of young girls, women, pregnant women, lactating mothers are anemic, and majorly iron deficient anemia. And in a very, very simple way, anemia can be cured by taking iron rich foods. In fact, anemia is one of the reasons for a lot of young girls or women to be underperformers, for low birth weight babies, for problems during pregnancy, premature delivery, death of mothers during delivery. One of the reasons is anemia, that is poor quality or low quantity of blood. And how do we rectify this? A very, very simple thing. If we all know to eat right and consume iron-rich foods, anemia can be cured and you can be better performers. Your fatigue comes down. Your attention span in college raises. And one nutrient that is very much required for the absorption of iron is vitamin C. It is not sufficient if you just take iron tablets or iron-rich foods. For absorption of iron, what is required is vitamin C. It should be together, just like how you friends go together wherever. So when you consume iron-rich food, in the same meal, see to it that you take a vitamin C rich, which means, I'll give you an example. Greens, andre soppugulu anta heltaralla, greens are rich in iron. That way, there are other iron-rich sources, like organ meats if you are a non-vegetarian. And then all these green leafy vegetables, these are rich in iron. For absorption of iron in the same meal, along with your soppinapalya, you take a little bit of a tomato, a raw tomato, or squeeze a little lemon onto your salads. There should be vitamin C for the absorption of iron. That combination will help you bring down your anemia. So it's very, very important. Many a times people don't have this very simple concept and knowledge. That's why nutrition is both art and science. Cooking is both art and science. It's very important. There is no use popping a supplement or a pill for iron capsule, and drink coffee, tea, Coke, because coffee, tea, Pepsi, cola acts as an antidote for the absorption of iron. It does not help in the absorption. In fact, it
It comes in the way of the absorption of iron. Instead, you take an iron supplement or iron-rich food and eat a guava, eat an orange, squeeze little lemon, and onto any other dish in the same meal, you get your iron what is intended. And that way, anemia can be solved. The normal hemoglobin level for girls or women should be between 12 to 14 milligrams per deciliter of blood. And for men, it should be 14 to 16 mg per deciliter of blood. Go check your anemia. Go check your hemoglobin. Majority of you will have less than 12 because it is so common. As I told you, 50% of young girls are suffering from anemia. If it's anywhere around 9, 10, you're already anemic. If you're 11 and plus, you're borderline. Ideally, it should be between 12 and 14. If it is not, you should take iron-rich foods. And with iron-rich foods, bite into a guava or an orange or mosambi or amla is an excellent source of vitamin C, better than a likai. Now this is the season. Bring home amla, make a juice out of it, put it in your refrigerator. It stays like that for 2 to 3 days in the refrigerator. Drink it just like that, diluted with water, or make a juice every day with an apple or half an apple or amla, and then half a beetroot and a carrot. A, B, C. Remember, A, B, C juice. Grind it with a glass of water, strain it, drink it every day. You build your immunity, your anemic state is improved, you get the major vitamins and minerals. And it is you who have to take care of your health. Many a times it's your mother who keeps reminding you haven't had your breakfast, and she's ready with the tiffin dabba, and she's waiting at the dining table. And the youngsters, I'm not blaming you, I'm just telling you general scenario in a house, especially in an urban affluent family. Mother is so anxiously waiting there reminding you, and the young girls are so with the mother so angry, mama, you don't have any other business, is it? Every day you're bugging me, nagging me to have your food. Trust your mother, she's caring for your health. This is the right time to invest in your health, my dear young Rotaractors. The early 30 years is a time of depositing in your bank account of health. The first 30 years, it is like a fixed deposit. What you eat, the kind of habits, the kind of lifestyle, the kind of discipline, the scheduling, what you cultivate now is going to help you in the coming years. 30 to 40 is just a management of all the nutrients and whatever the bone deposition of calcium and all that, whatever you have deposited on early years, managing of that takes place. 40 onwards, it is a depletion. We start losing the nutrients from our body in the form of leaching out. So if you're hardly 18, 19, in your teens, trust me, you have another a dozen years to go. Invest in your health. Take care of what the kind of food you eat. For that, you should know a little bit about the science of food. Very importantly, that's exactly why this session is organized for you. We move on. Happy hormone. Today, Bangalore or India is called as a suicide capital. And wherever you see, we hear people saying that I'm so depressed. ನನಗೆ ಯಾರೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೆ ಜೀವನನೇ ಬೇಜಾರಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. I don't want to live. I'm so bored. All of us have so many contacts on our mobile phone. You're on multiple WhatsApp groups. Insta is there, Facebook is there, Twitter is there. But end of the day, I don't have anybody and I'm not happy. And everybody feels so dull. This is the mental well-being or mental status of youth many a times. There are many reasons for mental illnesses. You should never neglect it. Whenever you feel low, it is very important that you share your feelings, talk to someone who are trustworthy, and seek professional help if it is required. But before that, what is it that keeps us happy? Which is that hormone that keeps our body healthy? A, B, C, D. Let's come out quickly. Which one? Okay, you should give me the question number and then your answer so that I'll know which one, which question you're answering. Because there's a whole lot of answers in the thing. Okay, B, D. Okay, D, D. Many takers for D, let's see. Let us see, let us see. Okay, happy hormone. So safe, to be safe, to give it as a D, don't know. Absolutely, yes. The happy hormone that keeps our body healthy is, those of you who said B, give yourself a score of 1. Yes, serotonin is called as the happy hormone. There are different neurotransmitters which are produced by the brain: endorphin, oxytocin, serotonin, GABA. There are very important neurotransmitters. These are called as a happy hormones to keep us happy, to give us good sleep, to have a clarity of mind, to keep you peaceful and pleasant. These neurotransmitters are very important. And people who are suffering from clinical depression are those, of course, apart from the many other reasons, lack of these happy hormones in their system is one of the reasons for depression. So it is very important that we get our dose of all these neurotransmitters: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphin, DOSE. Get a dose of it. It's very important. How do you get serotonin? The third one, DOSE, these 4 neurotransmitters. Out of that, serotonin is a happy hormone. How do you get that serotonin? You'll be happy to know that you're already doing that. Whenever you help people who are in need, whenever you do some service to people, whenever you bend down and lift up somebody and help or reach out to people, that is when, that is the altruistic nature. ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಹಸ್ತವನ್ನ ನೀವು ನೀಡಿದಾಗ, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರ ಮುಖದಲ್ಲಿ ನಗುವನ್ನ ತರಿಸಿದಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈಯಲ್ಲಿ serotonin ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Serotonin is that happy hormone which is produced when you bring happiness or help out somebody else. In Rotaract, you're already doing that already. So pat yourselves. Neurotransmitter serotonin is already being produced. That's exactly why when people have this tendency of being overly jealous about somebody's achievement, envy, the negative attitude, not tolerating somebody else's achievement, when we are experiencing these things, don't think that that person is suffering. It is we who are suffering with all the negative tendencies. That's why it is said that anger and jealousy is like acid. It does more harm to the container in which it is stored than onto which it is poured. Therefore, instead of taking all the negatives on others, see to it that you practice positivity and get more of serotonin and be happy so that our health improves. Is it only from feeling good, positivity, serotonin is produced? No. Food has a direct link to the production of serotonin. In fact, milk has an amino acid called tryptophan, which is important for the production of serotonin. So drinking milk, warm glass of milk just before bedtime with a little honey or sugar is a good way of getting good sleep and good serotonin production. And in fact, 95% of serotonin is produced in the gastrointestinal tract or the gut. Therefore, if you can keep your gastrointestinal tract, that is your gut area, the microbiome in your gut, healthy, you'll be happy. So now think back, come back to your food habits. What are the kind of foods you eat? Are you eating fresh, home cooked, traditional, healthy foods? Or are you consuming food which has been produced in the plants, not grown in plants? You get the difference, I hope. Produced in plants and the processed food which are produced in the industry, in the food industry, produced in plants or grown in plants. You should be eating foods which are grown in plants, not produced in plants, because these are the foods which are produced in food industry, packed, and it's not fresh, and the nutrient loss takes place right from the time of harvesting, during the carrying time and the cooking time. Just imagine if the food has been cooked months ago and with a lot of preservatives and additives added, and it's been in the cold storage for the last 6 months. You can imagine what kind of food we are eating. And we expect to grow and shine with the kind of dead food we are eating. The question for you to think. It doesn't mean that you should never be eating the processed foods or the junk food. Follow the rule of 80-20. That is, 80% of the time, eat right. something that is home cooked, traditional, healthy, vegetables and fruits, natural foods. 20% of the time, I'm sure youngsters, you love to eat ice cream, pizza, burger, pastas, and noodles. Have it. But remember, your health is in your hands. Unless you take care of it, nobody else can come to our rescue. Whatever dreams you have for your future to become this or that, you can achieve it only with a physically healthy mind and body. Physically and mentally healthy mind and body. And for that, food is a very, very important contributor. Don't neglect, don't think that food is your mom's business. It is something that's happening in the kitchen and nothing related to you. No, involve yourself in right from shopping to cleaning to cooking and helping your mother in the kitchen. That's how you get a better connect to food and your health. Be the owners of your health. Don't give it to hospitals. Don't give it in the hands of the mass media and the advertisements and the food companies or the life insurances or the five-star hospitals. Of course, doctors and hospitals are very, very important. But unless you take care of your health, nobody is going to come to the rescue of us. In fact, WHO says that in the coming years, people will be dying more due to lifestyle disorders. That is, what are lifestyle disorders? Those ailments that we get not because of the genes or heredity, but because of the kind of food we eat, how much we eat, whether we sleep well, what kind of habits and mannerisms we have. Based on that, the diseases we get are called as lifestyle disorders. Plenty of them, you have heard them, you keep hearing them every day. Hypertension, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, renal problem, and many types of cancers are all these can be rooted or to the lifestyle we have. And WHO also says, apart from the lifestyle disorders, another problem which will be bothering people in the coming years, one is lifestyle disorders, death due to lifestyle disorders, and the second biggest problem people will be facing in the coming years is loneliness. Depression and loneliness, the mental illness, that is the major problem the people will be suffering in the coming years. So I request all of you youngsters, see to it that you make quality connect with food and quality connect with people. You need real people in your life, not just virtual connections on Facebook and things. At the drop of a hat, you have a problem. Let's see how many true friends are there to give you a shoulder to cry or hold your hand. How many of them are really there to support you? That is the kind of connect each of you should have. That will contribute to your positive mental wellness. We keep hearing a lot about suicides, especially when it happens for a celebrity. We hear it more. So I don't have to tell you about that. It's so important that you have good friends and trusted people with whom you can share and have a good health. I don't know how much time I have. This is such a vast subject and I can just go on. Let me hear it in the chat box. So far, how are you liking the session? How is the session going? Quickly in your chat box. It's very important that as a teacher, the feedback is very important for me. How is the session going? What do you all feel about it? Wonderful, says Mary. Interesting, says Sharavati. Very informative. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much. So very important. Very informative. Thank you all. What's the time now? Yes. Going well, man. Good, good, good. Yeah. Okay. So I have more questions. I'm going to skip them. Let me see. I'll maybe one more. Go for the last one. I mean, I have few more, but I'll stop at the fifth one and go for the presentation. The normal pH of blood. A very, very important question. Normal pH of blood, A, B, C, D, which is the right answer? Yes. 5A, D. Okay. Many takers for the answer A. Okay, since we don't have much time, I'm going to move about. The normal pH of blood is A. Most of the answers are for that. Those of you who have given your answer as C, if at all you have given your answer as C, give yourself a score of 1 because that is the right answer. The normal pH of blood is 7.35 to 7.45. Less than 7 is acidic. More than 7 is called alkaline. Our blood is around neutral and slightly alkaline. Our body pH is slightly alkaline, and it is very important that to be healthy, our body should be in a slightly alkaline state of 7.35 to 7.45. Less than 7, it is called as acidosis. This is the condition where the infections and the other health ailments can prevail and we suffer from diseases. Therefore, those of you who have a neutral or a slightly alkaline pH will stay healthier. I'm sure you would have heard of many cases where you see people falling sick. Every now and then they catch a cold or a cough or a flu. Or one is lack of immunity. Second is those of them who have acidic bodies or not having an alkaline system. These are the people who fall sick often. So what is it that you should do? Ideally, you should keep your body in a slightly alkaline state so that your immunity improves and we don't fall sick often. So how do we make our body slightly alkaline? Eat a lot of vegetables and fruits. Vegetables, raw vegetables and fruits take your body to an alkaline state, and then it keeps you healthy. What is it that makes your body acidic and makes you prone to diseases? Is overconsumption of coffee, tea, alcohol, high amount of stress, chronic stress. These things make your body acidic and more prone to illnesses. So now probably you're getting to understand how what we eat, our mannerisms, our habits, and the sleep and the other discipline or the lifestyle, how it is intricately linked to our overall health. So it is not just something to eat and munch as you're running down the staircase or going through the lift or driving in the car or sitting at a darshini and or at a pizza hut and eating. You need to be eating mindfully. We need to be eating. I'll just skip the questions. I'll go to the most important one. We need to be eating mindfully, keeping the concept of balanced diet in mind. To drive home the concept of balanced diet, I'm using the analogy of a food pyramid. This is called as the food pyramid, which is grouped into 4 parts. There are 4 groups of foods at different places in the pyramid. If you see, the base of the pyramid is broad and it narrows, which means the foods that are at the bottom of the pyramid, you should be eating more in quantity. What is the first food group? It is called as a cereal group. Cereal andre davasagalu, ekadala ಧಾನ್ಯಗಳು ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದು. Rice, ragi, jowar, millet, harka, all those things. That is called as cereals. So you should be eating more of cereals every day for all your 3 meals. And the kind of cereals you eat should be less processed. It should be whole in nature, variety of cereals, different types of cereals, and anything in moderation. So bring these things to your diet. It is not about noodles in the morning, bun and biscuit or bread in the afternoon, and some pastas in the night. You're only taking refined maida there. There is no wholeness, there is no variety, and it is not at all in moderation. Instead, what should you be eating? Home cooked breakfast, whatever your mom or that's prepared at home. It could be idli, dosa, poha, upma, chapati, with some vegetables and dal, etc. As I'm talking with the other groups, I'm going to tell you there is a cereal there. And there are other vegetables which I'll explain. Something very important is eat different types of cereals. Morning, if you have had dosa, idli, see to it that you eat something made of wheat or millets or ragi for lunch and dinner. Bring in a lot of variety. As I give you the example, variety, different types of people make your Rotaract Club richer. Similarly, different types of vegetables and cereals make your health vibrant. And the second, if you see the group, it is vegetables and fruit. Still, the pyramid is wide, which means to say you should be eating a lot of vegetables and fruits. Unfortunately, whether it is youngsters or older people, we eat a lot of cereals, no problem. The first bottom segment of food, we eat well. But when it comes to eating good quality fresh fruits and vegetables, we are not taking enough. Remember, for every meal, there should be some kind of a fruit or a vegetable in the form of palya, salad, kosambri, eating a raw fruit just like that. And you should have vegetables and fruits in the form of greens, vegetables, or fruits. Whenever it is possible in the raw form, take it. It's very important why each of the color of the vegetable has got a different antioxidant, anti-cancerous. The orange color carotene antioxidant, which is present in carrot, is good for your lungs and your vision or your eyes. The red color pigment lycopene, which is present in tomato, is good for the heart. Similarly, the green color chlorophyll, which is present in greens, is again good for your cells and tissues. So this is what you should be eating. And it is not the green color haryali kebab and the red color gobi manchuri. Your color should come from the vegetables and fruits because these are live enzymes. And this is what helps you keep your body healthy, fit, disease free. Vegetables and fruits have minerals and vitamins and not carbohydrates and not much of fats. So there was the first question. Vitamins give you energy. I told you that was false. Vitamins and minerals don't give you calories. Instead, they give you, they make you, or they help in protecting the body. So the third group is called as the milk and milk product group and the protein group, where you find all the pulses, ಎಲ್ಲ ರೀತಿಯ ಬೇಳೆ ಕಾಳುಗಳು, ಹಾಲು, meat and milk and milk product, egg and meat and fish, all this. So this should be consumed in moderation. But yes, it is very important. Those of you who want to put on weight, build good muscles, work out in the gym, along with your gymming, you need to have good amount of proteins. So your food should come from the third group. And the last one, fats, oils, condiments, sweets, spices, or junk. Sparingly, it should be used in little quantities, but it is still important. Fats and oils are important for various functions, but it should be used in small quantities. But when you eat ready to eat foods, when you start eating out of packets, when you start buying food from the supermarket shelf and eating it, or junk food, the ready to eat food from the gadis and the different places and supermarket shelves and packets, we are only eating the last group of food, that is fried food, oils, sweets, to which lot of preservatives, color, and additives have been added. There is some kind of refined flour in the form of maida. Apart from that, there is a conspicuous absence of the in-between two groups. There is no vegetable and fruit there. There is no protein group. This cannot be a healthy food for a growing body. So if at all you are thriving on such processed foods, go back to the rule I told you, 80-20. Bring it to minimum. Instead, consume what comes out from your kitchen. That's very, very important. I think I'll stop here because the subject is so vast, I can just go on. I just gave you a concept of balanced diet. See to it that you take care of your food and eat variety of foods. I throw it open for questions.
If anybody has questions, they can unmute yourself or and ask the question, or you can put your message on the chat box.
Yeah, both are fine. They could unmute or they could put it up in the chat box.
Yeah.
Dr. Shobha, may I start?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Okay, there is so much talk about these organic vegetables, and are they really, really very superior to the vegetables grown in an otherwise environment than the organic environment?
Okay, good question, ma'am. Very nice. Organic foods are those foods, or organic farming is that type of farming which is pesticide free, using natural pesticides or natural cultivation methods, the traditional farming. In fact, way back during 60s, we had never heard of chemical farming. But to answer the demands, the food demand for growing population, came the green revolution and using urea and nitrate for farming to increase the production. With that, we were able to produce a whole lot of food, able to feed hungry people. But one of the drawbacks of the pesticides or using this kind of chemicals, especially when the farmers use it unmindfully, being ignorant about the negative aspects of pesticides, over usage of pesticides at different stages of growth and harvest. This can not just take away the nutrients from the foods, but the nutrients from the soil is also lost. So over a span of years, the soil itself becomes barren, and the kind of nutrients that the plant receives from the environment and the soil itself reduces. So therefore, it is not just about the nutrients, but the soil itself is losing its nutrients. So in the long run, yes, chemical fertilizer or food grown in the technical way of your normal type of farming with a lot of unmindful use of pesticides is definitely a strict no. For that, as an answer, the organic farming and the natural farming has come. Yes, organic foods are good in terms of better nutrients, but it comes with a rider. Are the foods really organic? Are they certified organic? And if it has to be certified organic, then who is checking it? There are many things that has to be looked into. And also there is another drawback here. Organic foods are also expensive. Why? Because it goes by the principle of demand and supply, if you look at the economics. So as much we start demanding for organic foods, when there is a market, the farmer also grows organic foods. Therefore, we need to create that awareness for organic foods and grow it so that the cost comes down and then consume it. But we also have to be really vigilant about, is the food really organic or simply being branded organic? But a simple rule of thumb, let's not compare the nutrients, how many or how many grams difference is there, but a simple thing, pesticide is nothing but chemicals and poison. And it's not good to eat poisons in our plate, especially when it is not mindfully sprayed and used. Therefore, not just consuming organic foods, educating our farmers is very important. Becoming sensitive consumers is also very important. And bringing it home and washing it well so that the pesticides that's sprayed at different stages during harvesting or the surface spray, that is taken rid of. So all these things to be counted, ma'am.
Right. Thank you. My other question before the children can take over. There's a lot of talk again about these gluten-free.
Yeah,
You know,
yes, yes.
I mean, that's the latest fad, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
So can you just give me a small idea? Is it good to follow that, or
In
why are
fact,
people doing it?
correct, correct. In fact, when we talk about food, very interesting question, Veena ma'am, what you asked. We go through those phases of food fads. All of a sudden, something becomes a superfood.
Very
After
true.
some time, the same food which you have been eating, suddenly everybody starts negatively propagating that. Similarly, that happened to millets. 60 or 1960s and 65, 70, millets were definitely being used. But then with the Green Revolution and wheat and white rice being promoted, millets were termed or looked at as poultry feed, just for cattle and birds. But now there is a resurgence of millets again. Millets are definitely good. Glycemic index is low and they have a lot of vitamin B's and it's good, but anything in moderation. So again, why I'm talking is there is a lot of misconception and food fat. So coming back to those gluten-free foods. Gluten can be allergic to people with celiac disease. There's a kind of gluten, some individuals develop this kind of an allergy to gluten, and it is called as leaking gut syndrome or the celiac disease. So those people with leaking gut syndrome can't stand gluten, which gluten is a kind of a protein which is present in wheat. So they can't stand wheat products like chapati or the puris or whatever. When you eat wheat-based food, they have bloating sensation, loose motions, and various other issues. So this is more so for people who have celiac disease or gluten intolerance, not for everybody. But there is so much of a hype created about gluten free, and everybody wants to consume gluten free food,
Correct.
isn't it? So there will be a stage where everything that we have to consume have to be looked under a radar. After some time, nothing will be healthy. So
True.
what I would like to suggest is we need to develop this habit of listening to your bodies. There is no one size fits all. It has to be tailor made. Just look at, if this particular food doesn't agree with me, just skip that, eliminate that for some time. Try out millets. If it agrees with you, fine. Just because somebody else is doing that, we don't have to follow. Somebody tells you that spirulina is the best, try it. If it fine, if it suits your stomach and your pocket, go with it. If it does not, there are many good foods which are available, which are suitable to your pocket also. So look at that. So listen to your bodies. That goes with you, which keeps you energetic and active. Go with it. Okay.
Thank
And
you.
that way the people can develop allergy to simple things, like they can have peanut allergy, eating chicky, eating ragi, eating or drinking milk, lactose intolerance. So there are many things. So be mindful of what is it that is not agreeing with you. So definitely, if you feel bloating sensation when you eat wheat-based products, then gluten-free foods are recommended for you, but not for everybody. Okay, so that is something I need to share with you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Ma'am, I would like to add a question from my
Yes.
side.
Yeah.
What do you think about the myth that eating more rice can increase your weight?
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
it's often told that if you eat more rice, your weight will increase. So if you're doing weight loss, cut
Okay.
rice.
Okay. See, when we are talking about rice, there's nothing negative about rice itself. Okay. Rice is a healthy source of carbohydrates, good calories, vitamins. But when the rice is highly polished, white rice, totally, we become I always tell people we are generally Marxist and what racists. We go by the marks, especially competition. We want to achieve more and more. Marxism, and then racism. Anything that is white is good. Ragi is black, so it isn't good for me. White rice and ಸಣ್ಣಕ್ಕಿ ಬೆಳ್ಳೆ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಬಿಳಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದಷ್ಟು ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಖುಷಿ. It also signifies how rich I am. It's an indication of my wealth also. So eating highly polished white rice in large quantities, white rice, when everything is removed, the polish is removed, I mean the fiber is removed and it is totally polished, it loses all the vitamin B. Vitamin B is present more in the outer layer or the skin around the rice, right? And it is polished to make it a nice white color. All the fiber and vitamin B is totally taken out. So what is left there in that pure white rice is only carbohydrates or starch and very, very insignificant quantity of vitamins. Therefore, less polished rice, brown rice, red rice, black rice, these are better alternatives to white rice. Does it mean that you shouldn't eat white rice? No, you can eat, but it's the portion size which matters. It's not many a times, no, people say that, especially South Indians, we eat mountains of rice and rivers of sambar. Okay, so it is not about eating a lot of rice. Have in moderate quantity, but increase your dal and vegetables. Accompaniments is what we should be eating. Not fill your stomach with rice. Instead, have a katori of rice, have one or two chapatis, have salads and dals and sabjis. That way, if you maintain the portion size of rice, it will not make you fat. But if you just eat rice for all 3 meals, especially the white rice, it has only or majorly starch and no nutrients, especially when it is highly polished. So alternate would be brown rice, less polished rice, red rice. And another thing is eat vegetables and fruits. And another very, very important thing is eat rice and also bring in different types of cereals like ragi, chapati, etc. Why? Because rice, when it is pure starch, it gets converted into glucose immediately. This is called as glycemic index. The glycemic index of rice is high. Why? Because no fiber is there. It gets digested immediately. It gets converted to sugar or glucose and your blood sugar level rises. So when you keep eating a lot of rice, your blood sugar level keeps on increasing. And when we don't exercise, but when we eat only rice in more quantities than it is required, the excess calories get stored as fat in our body. For that reason, you shouldn't be eating rice. But we have people working in fields and heavy laborers who eat a lot of rice and huge ragi balls and they still remain nice and fit. Why? Because they also burn out calories. So it is not just how much rice you eat. Are you also doing that much of work? Are you spending calories? Is very important. Most of the time we're sitting at the table with our smartphones and we don't even exercise. For those, keep your white rice in moderation. Eat vegetables, fruits, protein, rich foods. So, 4 things. I didn't show you the slide. I will get back to you. 4 things you have to keep in mind: your diet, your exercise, rest, and mental attitude. All these fours, if you balance, it is not just about rice alone. It is everything we balance. How you balance is very, very important. And many a times, especially youngsters, they kind of give up their breakfast or lunch or they skip their meal just to stay slim or they give up rice completely. and they go on to fluid diet or a juice diet, etc., etc. Never go into such extremes. Instead, balance all these four things: your exercise, rest, mental well-being, and the kind of food. That is a great way of staying healthy. Okay, it's not, the fault is not in the rice. The fault is how we use rice.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, also, what are your thoughts about intermittent fasting, the trend which has come up recently?
Okay. See, that's another fad now, intermittent fasting. So there are different types of diets which have come and gone: the Mediterranean diet, the fluid diet, etc., etc. Now the catch phrase that is going around is intermittent fasting. So in a way, in a traditional way, fasting is good, which we have practiced in the Indian custom. That's a good practice because one meal you skip in the name of religion or ritual or sampradaya or your culture. That way you're giving a little rest to your body, helps in detoxifying, and then you break your fast the next day with good sattvic food or vegetables and fruit. That's a good way. Okay, but intermittent fasting here, people, we are talking about consuming protein rich foods, eliminating carbohydrates, and this kind of erratic mechanism is not good in a long run. Any of these diets, food fads, for a short term, it's okay, but don't make that your lifetime habit. For a lifetime, the healthy habits of 3 or 4 small, frequent meals, following the balanced diet, using the concept of the food pyramid, drinking good quantity of water, exposing yourself to good adequate sunlight in the morning between 7:30 to 8:30, and or in the evening between 4:30 to 5:30 for minimum period of 20 minutes, exercising at least 5 times a day for minimum 20 minutes, minimum I'm saying 20 minutes per day and 5 times a week, and sleeping for about 6 to 7 hours per day. This is the mantra for good health. Intermittent fasting, other fasting can be practiced for few days, but not for lifetime. For lifetime, these are the hard tested truth, eternal facts. Yes, there is a question which has come to me, to my inbox separately. Nowadays, artificial sweeteners are used, ma'am. Are they better than sugar? So that's a question. Okay, artificial sweeteners. Yes, we hear a lot of zero calorie food, especially if you go to the ice cream counter or the cake shops. Then you say, sugarless sweets, and especially youngsters who are bothered or bugged about their increasing weight, or they want to stay slim, so they don't want to miss out on their pastries and sundaes, and so you want to have a bite of that also, but you don't want it to be not sweet, so you quickly go in for artificial sweeteners or those kind. What are these artificial sweeteners? Artificial sweeteners could be aspartame, saccharin, etc., which are non-calorific. That is, they give you the taste of sweetness, but they do not get metabolized or get converted to sugars or glucose. Therefore, it doesn't add calories and don't make you fat. For that reason, we eat. But please remember, these artificial sweeteners can affect our kidneys and liver when consumed unmindfully for a long time. These have come as an answer for diabetic patients. That's how it started, saccharin tablets. So adding those sweeteners to coffee, tea, that's how it started. But now we have started making sweets with artificial sweeteners. What I would like to suggest is, if you want to cut down on sugar and you're more concerned about your weight, eat that burfi or that jamun half portion. Eat less quantity of your pastry. Be happy with that instead of gorging on those artificial sweeteners, using pastries or sweets made out of artificial sweeteners, because we do not know the long-term effect of artificial sweeteners. And research says that long-term usage of there are some of the artificial sweeteners which are tested and recommended by the Food Standard Authority. But we do not know how the industry is using it and in what proportion it is being used. Some of the banned sweeteners and chemicals are also coming back into the market. So when we don't have a check on this. And especially when you come to business, there's a lot of unethical practices. So when we don't have hold on that, that is where the responsible consumerism comes. So therefore, instead of blaming the industry, we need to be more responsible. So instead of having a date with your sweets and then having a lot of artificial sweetener based sweets, instead reduce the portion size, have a small bite of healthy jaggery based or sugar based or natural sweetener like honey based food or sweets. Be happy with it, get that happy feeling that I've had a good bite of my sweet. Don't be guilty about it. Have that. If it is artificial sweetener once in a way, it's okay, because you already have artificial sweeteners in your Coke and Pepsi, which we drink. Definitely, artificial sweeteners in the long run are not good for your general health. Saccharin is about 100 times sweeter than sugar, but it is not safe on your system. Okay, so take care of that. Okay, ma'am, is there a need to keep a count on, I missed that question, count on calorie intake in a day? Okay, good question. Is there a need to keep a count on calorie intake per day? Normal, sedentary, moderate worker woman, normal adult woman, you are all 18 years old. Let's take you as adult woman, sedentary, moderate. We are all moderate workers, not heavy workers, not totally sedentary. So moderate workers, we need about 2,200 kilocalories per day. Men, adult men, moderate worker requires about 2,500 kilocalories per day. This is ideal. But can we keep a check on calories? Can we weigh everything? Can you weigh how many grams or how many calories we are eating? When you bite into a sandwich, can you actually measure your calories? Then we become too very obsessed with calories. So that is not a right way to eat food. You should only be aware that yes, a human body, moderate worker requires about 2,200 calories. You should know the science part of it. But when it comes to whether I'm getting enough calories, go back to the simple system of the food pyramid, the balanced diet. See to it that you get or you eat food from all the 4 food groups in the proportion I have shared just now with you. See to it that you have some different types of cereal across your 3 meals. You have your different types of fruits and vegetables and greens and moderate amount of fats, etc. That way, you naturally keep your calories in control. Otherwise, if you become too obsessed with it, then you're not, food is not just about filling your stomach. You should also be happy doing eating. It is more of a psychology. You eat a burger and the next 2 days you feel, oh my God, I shouldn't have eaten that samosa or burger, and then you want to skip your next 2 meals. That is not eating. You want to have that samosa or burger, and you know that one burger will take care of half a day's calorie, and you can't resist it. That day you just eat it. Don't feel guilty. See to it that the 80-20 rule is followed. The next few days, be happy with normal, good food, balanced diet. You cannot have unhealthy food over the week and fast for the other 2 days. That doesn't happen like that. Have a normal, balanced thing. Counting your steps or burning calories is a good practice. As moderate workers, about 10,000 steps per day is something that is good to burn your calories. And your body works on the principle of demand and supply. Okay. So you have eaten a lot, see to it that day you also work out well. It can't be just one way. Eat and not do anything. Definitely you will get tires and bulges all around. Therefore, don't be overly conscious about calories. Be mindful, eat balanced diet, burn it out. Do some kind of physical exercise. That's very important. Okay. Yes, how much time we have? I don't know if I've overshot my time. Veena ma'am?
No,
Are
no.
there any more questions?
Ma'am, I have one question now. We are Rotaractors and we know that malnutrition among children is a major problem now. As Rotaractors, what project can we take up because many are creating an awareness. But is there a way in which we can bridge the government scheme and the malnutrition children and try to improve the situation?
Which age group are you looking at, Srinidhi?
The school level kids.
School kids. So good question. Malnutrition is something, a big pandemic, especially in the developing countries. And malnutrition, especially in the first 0 to 2 years, in the form of protein calorie malnutrition called as kwashiorkor and marasmus, is very common in the early years. 2 to 6 years, malnutrition is again common in the form of uh, improper growth, not having adequate weight and height for age, appropriate age. So that happens especially during the 2 to 6 years. 6 to 12 years, malnutrition results in dropping out of school, poor academic performance, not able to concentrate in school, worm infestation, and many other scholastic related problems. Therefore, it will be really nice if, as Rotractors, you can take up the school nutrition program. It should always be a three-pronged program. Of course, we have midday meals, school lunch programs, etc. And many of the religious institutions, government is also doing wonderful job. We have different schemes of the government that is also taking care of. Prime Minister's Paushtik Abhiyan is one such, which is mainly there to address the malnutrition issues of children. So it doesn't just work or end there. Apart from supplying midday meals, you should also take care of the awareness. So building awareness among people and community is extremely important. A simple tip like taking deworming tablets every 6 months. That simple knowledge, if you can give it to people, that itself can bring down worm infestation and thereby anemia and many dietary related problems and malnutrition. One of the major reasons for malnutrition is worm infestation. So as Rotractors, you can take up the awareness building exercise. Distributing deworming tablets could be one of your things. Talking about anemia, talking about diseases in a very, very simple way. If you just tell them that the midday meals is given and you have to eat, people start detesting. Now that I've told you, you have answered the questions. Now you probably are contemplating how food is so very important, how serotonin is important, how this is important. So we need to sensitize people. That way they become more conscious about their eating. So what I suggest is right from the school curriculum, nutrition education is extremely important. We need to teach children what to eat, how much to eat, what is not good. So nutrition education can be given by Rotractors, apart from giving them supplementary foods. So this is what I said as a three-pronged program. One is education. So teaching people, educating teachers, along with your everyday biology and social studies class, 5 minutes of nutrition education should be given. How many of them came to school without their breakfast? Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. How many teachers say that in class? And when someone is hypoglycemic, when the blood sugar is low, the child cannot concentrate in class. When is running low with hemoglobin, he'll be a poor performer in class. So teachers can talk about food. So nutrition education is important for teachers. You can do this in school, educating them. Second thing, providing supplementary foods. You can have a tie-up with NGOs, government institutions. Of course, supplying folic acid and vitamin tablets is being done by the government, but other NGOs, and through that you can also reach out to more schools. So that can be done. Vitamin, folic acid and iron tablets, especially for teenage girls, menstruating girls. So that is something. And third, supplementary food is very, very important. Supplementary nutrition in the form of healthy cereal mixes. So we can have stalls, you can have a mela, you can have a carnival where everybody cooks and brings something healthy from home, and then you all share and eat. We can have such kind of healthy food day. Rotractors can go create that awareness. I mean, it takes a long time if I have to quote this example of a particular college. I'll just take 2 minutes, Srinidhi, when you said that. There was this particular college where I was invited as a guest for one of the valedictory functions. Borders, say Bangalore city only, little bit of the rural side and thing. So there, after my address, the principal told me there is a little problem. Our boys don't bring their lunch boxes to college, and then they never eat, and they're always sick and tired in school, college, and whenever we say bring lunchbox, and these boys have, they just want to walk into college carefree with, empty hands. That's the reason they don't want to bring lunch boxes. Just go and give them a mouthful that they should bring their lunchbox. They're too fashion conscious. They don't want to bring their dabbas. I thought, let me see. This is one side of the story. Is there anything else? So I just called the office bearers and we had a talk with them. And before I spoke, they said, "Ma'am, please close the door." Then the door was closed. I started having a discussion with them. I asked them, "Why is it you people don't bring lunch? This is what, and you all doze off in class and you don't." That is when these youngsters started telling the rural boy, of course, studying in Bangalore college, but bordering, the rural area. So that was a co-ed college. And many of these boys were first generation learners. And they work in the fields, their parents work in the fields, they have cattle. Before they come to the college at 9 o'clock, ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ದನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹಾಲು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಬರಬೇಕು, ಹೊಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. And many a times they don't have the practice of preparing breakfast at home. What they generally eat used to be the leftover food of yesterday night or ragi balls. And this was a co-ed college, and boys being boys, and not just boys, youngsters being youngsters, you're generally conscious about the opposite gender. Okay, so these boys, they didn't have a classroom. Oh, I forgot to tell you that when I asked you about why are you not bringing your food, they said, "Ma'am, first tell our principal to construct a separate lunch room for us." So that was the first request they made me. Then I started counseling and talking. Then all this came out. Then they said, when they would sit together with boys and girls, I believe the girls used to make fun of the food they bring because it used to be leftover rice or ragi ball, etc. And they couldn't bring dosas and chapatis, etc., etc., etc. That is when I had to tell them how nutritious ragi is. And you should never be ashamed of your culture and the kind of food you eat. In fact, you should be happy that you are eating locally grown, healthy foods, ragi-based foods. In fact, you are more healthier than the urban, fashion-conscious young boys and girls. So why I'm telling you this is a lot of misconception and lack of awareness among youngsters. Similarly, in school children. So we have to take that myth away from. For that, awareness building is important. Yeah. And sorry, because I'm looking at my watch, I'm running short of time, so I missed this. Why I gave you this example was, so I told them the importance of ragi and nutrients and all that. By the end of that session, the talk, they said, "Ma'am," I asked them, "Do you want a separate lunch room?" They said, "No, ma'am. Very proudly, we are going to bring our ragi roti and ragi mudde and sit with everybody and eat." And after a month, I gave them the ideas, like what I told you, have a carnival, etc. After a month, I got an invitation from the same college. Desi Aharada Karikrama. They had ragi, based on ragi. They had cooking competition, prepare different dishes using ragi, and they had a ragi mudde uta that day, and they had invited me. So what I'm trying to tell you is, as Rotaractors, bring in such programs so that people feel good about their culture, about your food and local things. So these are some things Rotaractors should be doing, not just bringing something and giving it to them. You feed a man fish, you feed for a day, you teach them fishing. So let people feel proud of their culture, heritage, and food habits. For that, all this is important: awareness, sensitizing, and giving them supplementary foods. I think I've taken a lot of time.
Not a problem. So since we have no more questions left, so I would now call upon Rotaractor Vaishnavi K to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Akanksha.
Shobha,
Good evening, everyone.
Yes. Oh,
Yes,
my
ma'am.
co-president Sumati is there. Yes, Sumati, madam. Good
very
evening.
nice talk. You have really made them realize. Good.
This is my passion, ma'am. I go around spreading the knowledge of nutrition and health because I truly believe in this.
Ragi muddes. Actually, I also tasted after coming to Bangalore.
Very good, very good. It's really nutritious. Thank you. Thanks for joining, Sumati, ma'am.
Sure.
Yes.
Our Rotaractors, no?
Oh, yes.
MES is ours.
I see. Okay. That's how you're here. So happy to see you. Okay. Veena, ma'am, you have anything to say?
Given an opportunity, yes, I will say.
Yeah, please.
May I, Akanksha?
Please go ahead, ma'am. Please
Yes,
go ahead.
ma'am.
Sure,
Please go
ma'am.
ahead.
Please go ahead, ma'am.
Not take go for you. They
Thank
did
you.
not say no for you.
No, the thing is, they had their schedule, so I didn't want to unnecessarily, come in. But then, thank you, Dr. Shobha. This has been a kind of a plan that they envisaged in the last week of July, when they were all installed, and then they couldn't go to college, and then it's just to keep everybody together that we had to do something. And that times are such bad ones that they cannot come out, and we can't have any community service and such other activities for youngsters. So when they came up with this plan, it was a wonderful way to tell them something, give something that we all know. So we have had entrepreneurs, young girls who turned into entrepreneurs, coming and talking to them. They learned a life lesson when one of them shared her success story after her bad incident of life, and they had a LGBT person talking to them last week. But then this has been something like an icing on the cake. Only this time, the cake is a healthy one, and the icing is the most cutest one I have seen. You kind of had a blended talk with your quiz and questions, and then making them rake their brain and then answer. So that kind of connected with them, I guess. Thank you so much. I'm sure they have realized that being at home for the last 5.5 months, the significance of food, the good habits of eating, and things like that. It's high time they regularized it and sustained that good habit if they have developed. I only hope and sincerely keep my fingers crossed they don't, go back
And,
to eating on the road and,
and
losing
rotary food.
their good health that they have sustained. I'm sure if they can reflect and have a soul searching, they will realize that they have fallen sick very, very less in these last 6 months compared to the earlier times. How very often, as teachers, you and me have seen the leave letters. But then sitting at home, having good food, and then that rest and whatever it is, they have been able to think on health, which is real wealth. So thanks, Dr. Shobha, and I thank Sumati Rao for coming over and then giving us moral support in every activity of the Rotaractors. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks for your
That's our Veena. She is also from our club.
yes. Yes, Vaishnavi, please go ahead.
Can I
Over to
take over,
Dr.
ma'am? Can I take over, ma'am?
Yeah, please, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vaishnavi, please go.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Vaishnavi, Youth Service Director of MES Rotaract Club. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. Today, the last day of Women of Vision series was in fact worthy to attend. And I, on behalf of our MES Rotaract Club, would like to express a sincere thanks to Dr. Shobha ma'am for sparing her precious time and for patiently answering all our questions. And also, it was in fact an interactive session. And these days, we had a monologue session, which was also very inspiring. And today, it was a bit different from others. And I personally feel very lucky to have attended your second session, ma'am. And no, from today's session, we learned that take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. It's a famous quote from Jim Rohn. So, not only about physical care of our body, but also our mental care of our body is also very important. And never mind, we are from different streams, but we have learned all the basic information, which is very much important related to nutrition. And this could have been not done anywhere else, but we have learned from you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And I thank our faculty coordinator, Rotarian Veena Nagaraj ma'am, for supporting us in this whole vision of series throughout this month. And also our Rotarian Sumati Rao ma'am, president of our parent club, Rotary Bangalore Northwest, Rotarian Sarasija ma'am, youth service director of our parent club, for attending today's event and also morally supporting us all the time. Thank you so much, ma'am. I also thank our DRR Rajamshi sir, DRS Arun sir in their absence, and also our ZRR Srinidhi sir, who always support us in any event, who always moderate us, and he'll be like a pillar to our session. Thank you so much, sir. Last but not the least, a huge thanks to all the Rotaractors from various clubs and also from MES Rotaract Club who had been attending the sessions from the past 4 weeks. I hope these sessions were truly inspiring and informative, and we hope we'll organize such sessions or host such sessions again in the future also. Thank you so much for your valuable time. Thank you one and all. Happy Rotraction.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. Thanks to all the organizers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
With Veena ma'am's permission, shall we close, ma'am?
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank
Srinidhi,
you. Thank you, ma'am.
sincere thanks to you on behalf of RBNW and MES Rotaract Club and personally. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am.
We look forward
It's
to
a
more and
pleasure.
more.
When
Yes, sir, go
Sharanya
ahead.
spoke about the series, I was really happy that she's planning to bring out, and I told select such topics which will impress everyone. And the team has done wonderfully in that. And trust me, I was actually on cloud nine when I heard that the last speaker is Shobha ma'am. I said this is the best thing which you can actually get. And yes, today it is. And once again, thanks to Shobha ma'am and Sumati Ragma and Team
Thanks.
MES.
Thanks for that high regards towards me.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Srinidhi.
Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.